Hey people, got a great show. I got a better definition for this one who had strength, and a better definition for this tattoo honor, and a better definition for was thrown out the dragon, and a better definition for this ancient and the one who is called the devil, and of the Satan that's planning on. So Mr. Mission Control shared one of my movies yesterday, and he says you should teach at a university, and that's impossible. There's what I'm teaching, there's nobody in the world that has any money and power wants anybody in the world to know what I'm saying. So it's all on y'all to understand and spread the word. So thanks for the share. So in that movie yesterday, I read line 7, and I showed how there's many meanings in there, and so you really can't get a meaning out of this until you study the whole chapter. And then all these words that have multiple meanings that kind of all mean the same thing. You know, who's fishing, you know, the vote in jigging the pole as, you know, wishing and the jigging the pole as. And so it has many different meanings that all kind of fall into mean the same thing. So in this folder I got movies. I read starting at the beginning here, and it's talking about the woman he's seen, and I got a better definition for who the woman is now. And the woman was naked and wearing a tattoo. And so the tattoo that was on her is a seal that tells the place from. It's like a T-A-T-T-O-O, a tattoo, but it's a T-O-T-T-O-O. And it means the place it's from. It's the mark when a package is sent, you know, made in China. And so the story's about the hot naked chick with the tattoo on her vagina, and around in the gleaming of the lion oil, you know, the color of the sun. So in all the old art they got this turned around, and the woman dressed in the sun, you know, is backwards. You know, the vagina is the sun out here. This is the vagina. So they got the sun and the woman backwards. You know, what you think is the sun is actually the woman, the vagina. This is the vagina, and this is the sun. And around be gleaming of the helium oil. So I talk about the meaning of that flag in this video, the land of Mu, and there may be some links to where I found that information in there. Old Captain had written some books, and if not, you can peel the information out of that movie to find those links to that captain's name. And selling a pocata taco, you know, a poke at a taco is also a pochetta taco. You know, it means an Italian pork dish, you know, a pochetta taco, a pochetta sandwich. And tokenopoditon of this, the wife epithets of the phallus of this Stephanos, of the royal class of the Stephanos, nor it sassed around the deck, and in the gaster, and in the stomach as what you choose, to the crazy, as Juanita dying of the sannies of Mentalin. And so this is all a dream, and it tails off down here in line 10, you know, and I heard a voice, you know, was, W-A-S, was woke cause of, was woke, W-O-K-E, cause of phone, you know, was a noise awoken me, phone, a phone in has awoken me, which the puppet holla to those that come eye on, those that have seen the mark of the place from on, where in honor. What he do would reckon from the great Spiros, S-P-R-R-O-S, the Spuros, the stars, notch each on a phallus sept, a top will rat-a-tat, and wife Pitta's phallus would have wept at Pedia Damata. Didn't make the cut. Wept at Pedia Damata. Which of the rear they sure to try it on. Totin the Nords Asteron. To Vuvunaroo. Run of the lay ballin'. Of what ought to use this is then jiggin'. Would reckon in coats is tellin'. Knoweth of no peon. That's gonna yak O's. That smell of uses. Tellyin in any ought not take let in. To taken on. As is it with scatafaggage a gaffa take. And so I read all those lines in other movies, and I'll put it all together because I learn more as I read down. I have to read it 3 times to make the movie, and then I watch the movie several times. When I post it, I watch it again, and I always learn more. And then as I go down and do this to every line, I learn more, and I want to go change the first one with some words that I learned. So it's a learning process, and I see these words have many meanings, and there's a lot of knowledge in there. There's none of it they want us to have. Mainly, they don't want you to know how to read this. So I'm going to hit these line 5 and 6 pretty quick, because I want to get down here to line 8. But this word, the scataphage, gaphatic, I'm sure it's got several meanings in there, but a cata is according to, and S is fire, so according to the fires, it's scata. It's scata, and a page of gaff at take. Come back and read the H, the N is an E. And so a gaff means a day, G-A-Q, G-A-F. And so it's the scata page, it's the ones who write this book and scatter in the page that put the gaff, the date, the gaffa, the data, take. And so you see it's not in the days, but it's in the numbers. It's hidden in the 7 royal crowns and the will rat-attack. Of let it tell via no insure arson of some hell they pay may have in. So she brought forth a son male. It doesn't mean that some of your sons are female. What it means is of let it tell the VO, the way no in. Men don't stop and ask directions. They already know the way, the via no in, the way no in. And if you would tell and have let it tell the way knowing, the son, the one that already knows the way knowing, Sir Arson, Sir, that's your male part right there. The Sir Arson fire of some hell they pay may have in. Don't try to tell a man directions. Don't tell him to stop and ask directions. He already knows the way, or there going to be some arson and some hell from they may pay in. Pay in the panta to Ethan on Thetans. It's not Ethans, but it's the Thetan, the back and forwards Thetans, the lowest class of Greece. And the panter, is he's trying to get in your pants, and he does everything. You got him running around panting, out of breath, and the panta is a ring, coming from pan, everything to. And I do everything for you, all to, the pan to. Pan being the bread. Panta is a ring used for an external support. The ring on your finger give you support to know that you're the one, the panta to. So you see up here, this word to rule, is about to rule, is from hell they pay may have in. The ones who pay to hell, they're the ones that about to rule. From hell they pay may have in. is about to rule. From hell they pay, may have in, is about to rule. Panted to on Thetan, been robbed, had bar a cider, are red, are readies as. Having been robbed, R-O-B-D, robbed, had a bar, a cider, a side, the O, aside her. She had a bar, a cider, or it is red. It's a red bar beside her, an iron rod, and our red ease, and not just red, but ready. The readies as a, and the line tells you to go back and get this S. Being that it doesn't have this directional mark here, this directional mark, you'll use this mark every time. When you're using this directional mark, you only use it when it's pointing in that direction. So if you're looking for prophecy, this iron rod is Russia. Russia's sitting over there beside China. And I can see I'm not going to make it to line 8 already. But if not, I'll get it in the next one. And her face that is appear to, and her face that is appear to taken on, as is to this forced on the light, and forced on, thrown on, avaught, what to, avaught, V-A-O-T, avaught, a crevice, what to. Which gonna beg of the Fugian? It's which gonna, G-U-N-H, gonna, which gonna, and then beg of the Fugian, beg of the Fugian, bag, this is a B-E-G or B-A-G maybe, beg or bag of the Fugian. This is a bag of the Fugian, and that's the fool, 0, the bag of the Fugian. And which gonna beg of the Fugian to flee, to get away, to beg to get away, or to bag to get away. This is then nomer her come on. This is then the nomer her come on, the name, to give a name, the nomer. And which gonna bag to Fugian. This is then the name her come on. This is what you now name her. The fool, the 0. Appa whoopee. Appa whoopee chi chi. Appa whoopee chi chi. Appa whoopee chi chia. And so appa, the operation whoopee, to screw, to whoopee chi chi. Everything the chi chi has to do with woman, sister, or older sister. In Japanese, they'll say it's a woman's breast, or in the French, chi chi, showiness or pretentious object. In Spanish, they're not sure. They just know it has to do with womanly things. In Hindi would be your elder sister, older sister. But it has everything to do with feminine. And you'll see it in the Hebrew when it's talking about the laws of your father's sister and your mother's sister and all that. But it's talking about the girl, with the tattoo of her vagina and out there selling a poke at a taco. And which gonna bag in the Fugian. This is then the name her come on, the name her given, the tramp, the fool. Operation, the whoopee, chi-chi, to screw me sister. Here, eki, here. And this actually reads Jael, J-I-E-L, and then lay, the Jael means the place it is. And the Appa whoopee chi-chi, in this place, the top on it, oi. The top on it call mass men on, many men on. The top on it call many men on of ov. Any is b or v. And top on it mass men on of same jot. And so a jot is a small writing, a little jot, a writing on a napkin. Write something quickly, or a small amount of something, coming from the Greek iota, jot. Jot, a very small, insignificant. A doublet of the hand of yod, which is the smallest letter in the Hebrew, in reference to the phrase in the New Testament, until heaven and earth pass away, not an iota, not a dot will pass from the law. And so they changed all the iotas and dots. You don't have any of them in any of the new translations. So just because it says in King James that not one word will be changed, it doesn't mean they didn't change one word. And they changed all the words. In the Chi-Chi here, the top on it call mass men. Of them same dot. All of them hitting the same spot. Of a way, of a po. Of a way, toa, to come out the ova. In any a key, in any gel, J-E or J. You're grabbing this last letter that was used, was this Y on any, J-I-E-L, gel-I. In this place lie a key, in this place. And to any in this place, traff is in. Traffic, what's coming through, traffic is in. The traffic's in. On it within, come her as are. Come her as arum, don't get dressed up to go out, just come as are. The many traff is in, on it within come her, come her as are, the way she is. And come her as are, me chili has, dicozy has, it's second at knock hex. She shows up, come as her are. She packed her bag, which gonna bag to Fugen. This is then the nomer, here, come on. The number, her, come on. You can find me at 1260th Street. Me chili has dicozy, a cozy place, as the second at knock hex. You've been hexed. This is hex either way, A-E-E-X-H. And so it's just like the Hebrew T. Sometimes it's a TS, sometimes it's an X. And so it's the fool, and she grabs her bag and come her as are, and comes knocks on your door. Me chili has die, has through a cozy, has its second at knock hex. The second you knocked, it was hex. But if you didn't go to graduate school, you wouldn't know all the reading directions. You would only know this one wave mark. And you would read this, which gonna the Fugen his tenure. Come on up. Gonna the Fugen his tenure. Change the story into his tenure. A condition under which the land or buildings are held. Hey, come on out to my beach house. Which gonna the Fugen his tenure. Come on up of each they the key it avon. It oyum as men. It oyum, it column is men on. Come on up of each they the key it of on it. Oyum is men on. Column is men on. A pot of ad. The T and the TH is the same as the D. And a pot of ad. The of a. Add the of a. Add one for you. Add the of a. It is key. Now this word doesn't read backwards, so the A and E are meshing. And that red is ES, as in his key, it refusing of then her come as chilly as day koozie as the day koozie a sex check onto. As chilly as the doctor's hands are on the day of your koozie sex check onto. So this word here, they should nourish. This trip is in. The trip is in. It's three word truffles come from. Truffles, mushrooms, the trip is in. And they should nourish. And having been prepared, it oil 'em as men on. I'll call my men, having been prepared to place. And so there's some numbers in here, but they're not these. Chilly as is 32. Chilly as. And it means to taste the comfort. A 32nd is to taste. And then die cozy as, through cozy as. To taste through the comfort as. The second at knock hex. As soon as she knocked on your door, you were hexed. HXE. And so a hex, is a 6, not a 60. A hex is a sixth of the circle. And that's where they get that 60. A sixth of 360 is 60. But this doesn't say 60. It says the second at knock hex. So the second at knock hex would be 120. And so if the number looks small, it's because they're not talking about days. They're talking about the trefazine, and should nourish. Talking about mushroom doses. And it's still talking about boofing like it was in the third page of Genesis, That's what this is all about. As in gastry, as what's the choose. To do it anally is crazy. Crazy as Juanita Dianosa. But it's coding the astrology and it's coding the times all in here. And the tail of him drags a third. Which of or where? Where the rower is. What of? Sure they to try it on. To try it on the rear. The tail. And that smell who says the telly in any ought to not take let to. Taken on as is to this cataphagage of phatic. According to the phaggage, how much is stuffed up in there of phatic. The knowledge of fat take. Depending on what your body weight is how big your drug size would be. So my program's getting pretty slow here, and I'll get on this number 8 in this next movie.
Don't forget, I won't forget.
Alright, I'm gonna cut this off here. Good day.